The emergency room was chaos that night. Sirens echoed, doors slammed, and the smell of antiseptic mixed with fear. Through the sliding doors came an old man, clothes torn, beard wild, his arm bleeding through a dirty jacket. Nurses hesitated. Some stepped back. He smelled of the streets, of rain and hunger. Dr. Ethan Ross didn't. He stepped forward. "Get me saline now," he said, his voice calm but urgent. The man's eyes, tired and lost, met Ethan's for a moment. A silent plea buried beneath years of silence. "Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. And tell me, where are you watching from?" The veteran's name was Walter Briggs. No ID, no insurance, no family. Just a crumpled photo in his pocket. A young soldier in uniform smiling beside his comrades. Ethan noticed the patch on his sleeve. U.S. Marines. He treated the wound carefully, but what caught him wasn't the injury. It was the tattoo across Walter's wrist. It read, "For those I couldn't save." Hours passed. The ER quieted. Most doctors moved on, but Ethan stayed. He brought Walter coffee, a blanket, and something rare in a hospital full of numbers. Kindness. "Why'd you help me?" Walter asked quietly. "Because someone once helped me," Ethan replied. The hospital administrator, Ms. Greer, didn't see it that way. The next morning, she stormed into the ER. "Dr. Ross," she said coldly, "you spent half the night on a vagrant. You know policy?" Ethan stood silent. "He's not a vagrant," he said softly. "He's a veteran. But the rules were clear. No insurance, no extended stay. Walter was to be discharged by noon. As nurses prepared his release papers, Walter sat quietly on the edge of his bed. His eyes stared at the floor, as if watching memories play in the dust. He muttered, "I fought for people I never met. And now I can't even afford a bed." Something in Ethan broke. He couldn't let the man walk out into the cold again. He called a friend at a nearby shelter, arranged a bed, and paid for Walter's medication out of his own pocket. "Doc, you don't owe me this," Walter said, gripping his hand weakly. "I know," Ethan replied, "but maybe I owe it to someone like you." That night, while Ethan was still on shift, the hospital's head surgeon walked in, an older man with a limp. "Who's this Walter Briggs everyone's talking about?" he asked. Ethan explained. The surgeon's face went pale. He whispered, "Walter Briggs saved my platoon in Afghanistan." He pointed to a scar above his temple. "He carried me through enemy fire. I thought he'd died years ago." By morning, the story spread through every corridor. Doctors, nurses, even patients gathered near Walter's room. They didn't see a homeless man anymore. They saw a soldier, a hero forgotten by the world. When Ms. Greer entered again, the entire staff stood between her and Walter's bed. Ethan looked at her, not in defiance, but calm resolve. "We take care of our heroes," he said quietly. She looked around at the faces, the silence, the unity, and sighed. "Fine," she said softly. "He stays." Days turned into weeks. Walter's color returned. He laughed again, helped other patients, and even joined the rehab unit to share his story with veterans struggling to heal. On his final day in the hospital, Walter asked to see Ethan one last time. He reached into his jacket and handed him the photo, the one from his pocket. "I carried this through war, through streets, through cold nights. You reminded me why I fought, for people who still care." Ethan looked down, eyes wet, unable to speak. Walter smiled. "Keep it, Doc. Heroes need reminders too." When Walter finally left, the staff lined the hallway in silence. Some saluted. Others simply bowed their heads. No one said goodbye. They just watched as the automatic doors opened and sunlight washed over him. Weeks later, a letter arrived at the hospital. It was from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Inside was a handwritten note from Walter. "I'm home now. Not the house kind, but the kind that lives in people's hearts. Thank you for seeing me when the world didn't." And attached to the letter, a small worn Marine medal, polished clean. It was addressed to Dr. Ethan Ross. That evening, Ethan placed it in a glass case in the ER waiting area. Beneath it, a small plaque read, "Compassion heals what medicine cannot." Sometimes, the greatest rescue doesn't happen on battlefields, but in quiet hospital rooms, when one soul decides to see another as human again. Because kindness doesn't ask for rank or uniform. It just acts. If this story moved you, like, comment, and share your Kindness Valley thoughts below. And subscribe for more untold stories.